My name is John Norton, President of DreamStart Building Company. For my Class 9 assessment, I'm breaking down the mechanics of our current 90-day growth sprint. We are in the middle of a massive strategic pivot. We are completely walking away from the volume-based, tire-kicking sales tactics that plague the construction industry. The traditional builder model is broken. It wastes time on unqualified leads who suffer from sticker shock the moment they see a materials estimate. Instead, we are leaning heavily into technical authority and a high-friction, high-commitment funnel. This presentation outlines exactly how we are engineering that shift, the specific marketing channels we are leveraging, and the strict financial metrics we are holding ourselves accountable to as we scale. We are deliberately creating hurdles for our prospects to jump over, ensuring that by the time we have a conversation with them, they are a highly educated, financially prepared, and ready to break ground individual. Let's look at the business context. My latest value proposition is highly specific and deliberately niche. I help aspiring DIY-focused homeowners build instant equity by delivering weather-tight, structural homestead shells utilizing highly efficient structural insulated panels, or SIP, construction. To be clear, I do not build the whole house. I build the hyper-efficient envelope. I dry it in, I ensure it is structurally superior to standard stick framing, and then I hand over the keys. I allowed the client to finish the interior themselves and capture massive sweat equity. In today's volatile housing market, where interest rates and labor costs are pricing families out of homes, we provide the ultimate workaround. We deliver the hardest, most technical part of the build, the structural integrity and thermal boundary, and empower the homeowner to act as their own interior general contractor. My target customer is a very specific demographic. It is the person I like to call the smartest guy in his group. There is a homeowner who inherently understands the long-term return on investment of thermal efficiency over standard fiberglass insulation. They are completely fatigued by the traditional housing market's lack of affordability and lack of quality. They aren't looking for a cookie-cutter turnkey subdivision starter home. They're looking for a high-performance generational shell on their own land. They specifically want the structural strength, wind resistance, and moisture control of slab-on-grade construction. Crucially, they possess the grit, the basic tools, and the willingness to swing the hammers on the inside. They are trades adjacent, or they have a network of buddies that I like to call friengineers, who can help them hang drywall, paint, and install cabinets on the weekends. The absolute dream outcome I offer these customers is the ability to completely bypass traditional housing market barriers and take control of their financial future. By utilizing SIP panels, we achieve a hyper-efficient, structurally superior home envelope in a fraction of the time it takes a traditional framing crew. The outcome is instant, tangible equity. Because we only build the shell, they aren't paying a general contractor massive 20 to 30% markup on every single interior finish. They secure a high-performance shell quickly, they lock in their property value, they control their finished costs on their own timeline, and they end up with a high-value, highly insulated asset on their land. They get to build wealth through their own labor rather than handing it over to a developer. Our current minimum viable product is the Homestead Shell package, but it is vital to understand that our MVP is not just the physical building materials. The MVP includes our entire qualification funnel. It is the physical shell coupled with an absolutely mandatory $8,000 priority planning and design deposit. This financial gate is supported by our proprietary 14-track audio series, Reluctant Authority, which is designed to meticulously pre-qualify and educate leads before I ever get on a phone call with them. This audio series acts as an automated sales engineer. It explains thermal bridging, HVAC load reductions, and the realities of a DIY finish. If a prospect refuses to consume the education, they simply don't get to buy the shell. It is a complete self-filtering system. My primary measurable 90-day growth goal for this assessment period is to strictly secure 6 high-intent design starts. This entire quarter is dedicated to transitioning fully into our high-commitment funnel and proving its viability in the market. We are aggressively replacing the exhausting noise of low-quality, top-of-funnel leads with the quiet confidence of established technical authority. Hitting these 6 paid design starts validates that our friction-based funnel actually works. It proves that there is a market of buyers willing to put cash down up front for a premium envelope. Securing these 6 starts puts us exactly on the trajectory we need to hit our larger end of the year milestone of 20 total completed shells, shifting us from a startup phase to a predictable revenue generating machine. To hit these goals, we have to engage the right channels. Channel number 1 is targeted Facebook video content, but we are absolutely not running generic call us for a free quote ads. We are leveraging rapid, highly visual video branding to demonstrate the undeniable structural superiority of SIPs over traditional framing. Showing a massive pre-cut panel locking perfectly into place speaks exponentially louder than a written brochure. We are pushing technical, visually engaging B-roll of active job sites that stops the DIY-focused scroller in their tracks. It shows speed, it shows a clean job site, and it shows modern engineering. It is designed to create a visceral reaction for someone who is frustrated with the slow pace of traditional stick-built construction. Channel 2 is regional SEO, where we are operating from a position of absolute strength. We currently hold the #1 organic ranking for custom home builder St. Joseph. Because we already own that top digital real estate, our strategy isn't about fighting to climb the ranks, it's about maximizing the conversion of that high-intent, localized traffic. When people in our market search for a custom builder because they are tired of traditional lumber prices, we are the undisputed first answer they see. We are aggressively leveraging that dominant digital footprint to route them directly away from traditional stick-built expectations and straight into our high-friction SIP panel qualification funnel. Channel 3 leverages my boots-on-the-ground professional realty. As an active licensed realtor, I have direct early access to land buyers at the very inception of their home building journey. Strategic real estate partnerships allow me to intercept the client when they're literally buying the dirt. This is a massive competitive advantage. Before they ever sit down to talk to a traditional high-priced custom builder, I can introduce the Homestead shell concept. I can completely change their perspective on what they can afford to build on their new acreage. By catching them at the land acquisition phase, I can guide them toward a SIP build before they commit to an overpriced traditional mortgage. Channel 4 requires diving deep into micro-communities and specialized influencer platforms. I'm intentionally exploring trust-based engagement with high-specific DIY builder niches online. In these hyper-focused spaces, demonstrating pure structural expertise is the only currency that matters. We are not in these groups to hard sell. We are there to advise and consult. By consistently showing up as a technical authority on slab-on-grade foundations, frost lines, and SIP structural loads, we organically attract the smartest guy in the room demographic. When they see us answering complex engineering questions for free, they naturally gravitate toward our paid ecosystem when it comes time for them to actually order their materials. Moving on to the channel experiment card. My core hypothesis is that shifting entirely away from relying on third-party sales groups and instead relying strictly on our own targeted social media video content, driving traffic directly to our custom-built web application will generate a much higher intent, pre-vetted caliber of lead. I believe that visually providing this product on social media and then immediately forcing the prospect into an automated multi-step qualification gate will weed out the dreamers and identify the actual buyers. We are testing the assumption that high friction at the top of the funnel creates high conversion at the bottom. To vigorously verify this hypothesis, I'm launching a highly targeted social media campaign. The call to action in these videos will absolutely not be buy now or get a quote. The call to action will strictly direct them to our proprietary application and our 14-track educational audio series. We are intentionally using content not to close a sale, but to initiate an automated vetting process. The prospect must do the work. They have to listen to the realities of SIP construction, understand the limitations of a shell-only build, and self-qualify before they are ever granted access to a one-on-one discovery call with me. The exact metric I am focusing on for this experiment is the pure number of completed, highly detailed applications and the subsequent discovery calls booked from those applications. I will know I'm right and the experiment is a definite success if I secure at least 6 high-intent prospects who are willing to proceed directly to the $8,000 design deposit stage within this strict 90-day sprint. I'm not tracking vanity metrics like video views or social media likes, which are nice, but I'm only tracking completed applications that convert into paying design clients. The entire goal here is uncompromising quality over sheer quantity. The duration of this specific channel experiment is locked in at a strict 90 days to align with the assessment sprint. The financial budget allocated is a lean $500 in targeted ad spend to prime the digital pump and test the creative. However, more importantly, it requires a dedicated time investment of approximately 10 hours per week. Those 10 hours are not spent on sales calls. They are spent managing the campaign analytics, monitoring our website indexing to ensure the funnel isn't broken, and ensuring our automated tools are correctly routing the qualified leads into the appropriate CRM buckets for follow-up. What I have definitely discovered about marketing channels so far is that the traditional volume-based tactics yield incredible low-quality leads who consistently balk at the actual gritty realities of a DIY finish. Trust-based engagement that focuses purely on technical authority is what actually converts. Explaining the granular methodology of the build, the moisture defense of the panels, and the thermal benefits of slab-on-grade foundations filters for serious buyers. My biggest validated assumption is that high-friction channels, forcing a client to jump through educational hoops, drastically improves the quality, tone, and outcome of our final sales interactions. Moving on to the funnel experiment card, I believe that implementing a uniform, non-negotiable $8,000 priority planning deposit up front will effectively act as the ultimate high-commitment qualifier. This deposit is the absolute gatekeeper of my business. It immediately weeds out the casual browsers who just want to look at pretty floor plans and dream about building one day. That's already available online. They can do that without me. By requiring a significant financial commitment before any custom work begins, I'm reserving our operational bandwidth and design resources strictly for serious, heavily vetted builders who are financially prepared to break ground right away. To verify this hypothesis in the real world, I am strictly enforcing this automated lead qualification gate across the board. Every single interested prospect will be required to pass through it without exception. Absolutely no one gets funneled to our architectural design phase, and we do not start drawing up custom plans or site maps until that $8,000 deposit is secured and cleared. It forces the prospect to put significant skin in the game early, transitioning the relationship from a casual inquiry into a binding professional commitment to move the project forward. The core learning metric I am tracking here is the conversion rate from the completion of the educational audio series to the actual placement of that $8,000 deposit. I will know I am right if the leads who pass this financial gate require significantly less personalized manual sales outreach from me. They should proceed seamlessly into the shell-only financing phase because they are already thoroughly educated on the process, they understand the costs, and they are fully committed. The success metric is a frictionless handoff from the design phase directly to the lending phase. Just like the channel experiment, this funnel test runs for a strict 90 days. The budget here is primarily a time allocation, 5 hours per week of highly personalized, trust-based, one-on-one outreach. But the vital key to this metric is that this time is dedicated only to those who have successfully hit this bottom of funnel stage. I am no longer wasting dozens of hours a week on the phone with unvetted prospects. Those 5 hours are spent purely on logistics, final assurances, and high-level consulting with clients who have already written a check. To aggressively drive this business growth, I am leveraging highly specific, unshakable resources. I have strategic locked-in partnerships. Jim York is handling the complex design packages, and Chris Miller is facilitating the specialized shell-only loans that traditional banks won't touch. Combine those external partnerships with my deep technical expertise in SIP construction, my established local authority as a real estate professional, and our newly built automated digital assets like the custom web app and AI voice tracks. We have successfully built an operational engine designed to scale cleanly, predictably, and highly profitably.